If you're anything like me, you're a huge sourdough enthusiast. And for some reason, I could not figure out why my sourdough was coming out either gummy or was not rising in the oven. So I had to switch a lot of my techniques, and a few things that I've discovered that have helped my sourdough and my texture tremendously. One, the first thing then is that making sure that you have a good starter. One thing that has helped both my starter and my fermentation process is natural sunlight. This is a simple move, and I know it seemed like something that's like, is that gonna make all the difference? I promise you, it made all the difference in my bread. Just switching up a few techniques and altering a few processes, but being able to mix my sourdough starter in the morning, set it in the window, and then 3 hours later, I have a really good starter, strong starter, one that's bubbly and highly active. So I highly recommend that you take that technique, and once you mix your sourdough, do it in the morning and then set it in the window. Especially if it's a sunny day, set it in the window. The sunlight's gonna do a lot of work. Second thing is making sure that you have a clear cylinder to mix your dough in. This is for stretch and folds, and this is for the bulk fermentation process. This is helpful because something that's big enough where you can actually get your hand in and stretch and fold. I was using a bowl, you do have more room, but the problem with this is that it's not clear. I couldn't see how much my dough was rising. So my dough was either being under fermented or over fermented. So it just wasn't working. I just couldn't tell. So when I switched to this cylinder, I know it's a picture, but anything that you have, I could set my dough in here and literally see how much of it is rising. So I can either go for a 30% or 50% rise. When I'm doing my sourdough, I found that 30% rise from when I started actually produced the best bread. And when you're doing bulk fermentation begins the moment you add the starter into the flour. Once that mixture happens, that's when bulk fermentation starts. Once you've got that 30% rise and you feel like, okay, I see the bubbles, I see the holes, now it's time for shaping. So what you wanna do now is follow your traditional shaping methods. You're gonna do what you usually do. You're gonna shape it. You're gonna take your bowl, you're gonna have it covered, you're gonna have your cloth, you're gonna heavily flour that cloth, and you're gonna take that now shaped dough, throw it upside down into your bowl, and instead of putting it directly into the freezer, put it back in the window for another 2 hours. Trust me, it's gonna make all the difference between you having gummy bread and then having that bread. After those 2 hours that it's been sitting in the window, now instead of sitting in the refrigerator for 6 to 48 hours, put it in your freezer for an hour and a half. We're not looking to slow down the fermentation process. The only thing that we're looking to do is to make that dough solid enough so we can score it. So after that hour and a half, you can take your bread out, score it, and then put it in the oven. I hope this helps you like it has helped me.